Hey guys, Farid here, and welcome to my second mixing tutorial, this time about dealing with resonating frequencies or resonant frequencies. Now, basically, resonating frequencies have a few definitions, but in a mixing context, we could just take a look at the definitions here. So, for example, Southside Glenn says a resonant frequency is the frequency at which an object tends to naturally want to resonate or vibrate. So basically, resonating frequencies are frequencies in the nature of a sound that you can't really control where they are, but they're just in the nature of any tonal sound. So any sound that has a note or a melodic or tonal feel to it. So plucks, pads, basically bass lines, even some tonal samples or effects as well. And you can't really control where they happen in this frequency spectrum of the sound, but you can deal with them in the mix by taking them down, because not actually dealing with them or leaving them as they are will change the nature of the sound and will make some notes higher than others when the sound is playing in the mix, and you don't really want that. You want each note to cut through just as well as any other note. And we also have a definition here which says resonance is just a buildup of energy at a particular frequency. So basically what that means is, again, it's in the nature of the sound. You can't really control it, but you can deal with it in the mix. So like I said, resonating frequencies can be found in pads, plucks, leads, bass lines, or even, like I said, tonal effects. But for the purpose of this tutorial, I'm going to be showing you guys how I do it on pads, and the technique that I'm going to use in dealing with these frequencies on this pad can be used with any other sound. So it's the same process for plucks, leads, bass lines, etc. Now let me just show you guys what this pad sounds like on its own. And so let me show you guys how this pad sounds on its own. Now, what I've done on this pad is that I used to have resonating frequency EQ'd here, but I've muted them. So what you're going to hear is just a pad with a high pass, a low pass, and a boost in the highs, and just a dip in the mids here. And we're going to EQ it together for resonating frequencies in this tutorial. And this is the EQ that we'll be using for that. So let's just hear what the pad sounds like without any basically manipulation of the resonating frequencies, so you can hear them. Alright, so as you guys can hear, it sounds okay so far, but we can clean it up a little bit because some frequencies are sticking out to my ear a little more than others. And like I said, this process can be applied to any other sound that has these frequencies. So let's get started, and I'll show you guys how I do it. So first of all, I just create an EQ band here, set the Q to the maximum, and just go hunting around for these frequencies and take them down. Now usually I take them down either by I take them down by 3 dB, 5 dB, or 7 dB, depending on how strong they are in the mix or how often they repeat in the notes that the sound is playing in my actual track, depending on the melody. Now -3 is just a resonating frequency that doesn't repeat too often or isn't that strong to my ear. -5 is somewhere in the middle, and -7 and can go up to sometimes -9 even is a very strong resonating frequency that kind of overweighs the sound and makes it sound really muddy. So I take that down heavily, and again, it depends on each specific frequency. So let's just see what we can do here. Alright, so we have our first one here, and this one is a little medium, I'd say, to my ear, so I'll just go for -5 here. Now let's hunt for some more. Now as you can hear, this one is constant, almost, it plays in almost all of the chords in this pad. So I'm going to take that down by -5 as well, because it's not too strong, and taking it down, in my opinion, more than -5 will make that note not cut through in the melody as much as I want it to. So -5 is a happy medium. Now let's look for some more. Again, this to me seems like a -5, so I'll go ahead and do that. Yep. Again, this is about -5. I'll put this as -3 just because the other EQ that I have here actually already has a dip around the same area, so in total it should be around -6, which is fine. So I think there should be maybe one or two more. This one isn't too strong, so I'll just go ahead and put this as -3. Again, this one isn't too strong either, so I'll just put this as -3 as well. And I think that should do it really for this pad, because any higher than that is just the high end and hiss, so doesn't really there. See, what I've noticed is that resonating frequencies usually happen between the 300 or 250 hertz area and up until 1.5k or 1k. This is usually the area where resonating frequencies occur the most. Any lower than that is I usually just cut with or heavily take down with EQ on either basslines, plucks, pads, leads, like I said. And any higher than 1.5k is usually just the high end, and it's the air of the sound pretty much. So no really tonal frequencies there, and I'll just show you guys that real quick right now. So as you can see, there isn't really any resonating or tonal frequencies beyond that. It's just air and the fizziness of the sound itself of the pad. So I think that should do it for this pad. Let me just take a quick listen one more time. Yeah, I missed a couple, so this is not too heavy, so I'll put it as -3. And I'll put this as -5 because it's a little too heavy. And now let's take a quick listen to the sound now and see what it sounds like after we've EQ'd the resonating frequencies out. Yep, sounds about right for me. So again, this technique can be applied pretty much to any tonal sound that has these frequencies, like I mentioned. Um, it's a hunting process, really. You can't really know exactly where they're going to be for each sound. So, like I just did, I basically just go hunting for them on EQ. It may take a while, but you do need to be patient for it. And also, but if you actually do it, the sound is going to be much cleaner. However, if you find that even after this, after you've done this, the sound is still sounding a little bit muddy or muffled or too mid-range based, I'd suggest that you just change the sound and try and go for another sound. But for me, right now this pad sounds pretty good, and I've already EQ'd it right here. I'll just enable those back again. These should be pretty much the same. So again, and I'm using this for a new track, so I've done the mixing beforehand. But anyways, I hope you guys got something out of this tutorial. This was a quick one, but I'll be uploading another one soon about arrangement, mainly for uplifting tracks. This one shouldn't be too hard because I've been asked about it quite a few times. So hopefully that'll be up within hopefully the next week or so. So until then, see you guys soon, and talk to you later.